This is the all-new NORTENT SKJUL BIVI, and I'm hoping this bivvy will convert me back, because to be honest, in the past, myself and bivying haven't got on. I've tried it several times and it's always been like horse riding to me. Romantic in principle, I've given it a go, but it's always ended kind of like pretty miserably, to be honest. So I'm willing to give it another go, and this is kind of some state-of-the-art equipment. So here I want to show you the specs of this. It's a foul wet day and I'm going to pitch it in the garden and test its waterproofing, and then when I've had it in the rain for a few hours, I'm going to try getting in it without kind of getting the inside completely soaked. And this particular bivvy's got a design that may well facilitate that. Now I'm here to kind of learn from you, to be honest, because there's a lot of bivyers out there that are expert in this and they absolutely love it. In fact, some of my friends really are advocates of bivying, and I've never really got it, but I'm willing to learn from them and I'm willing to learn from you. So before we go any further, if you've got any top tips about bivying and mistakes I make on this journey, kind of let me know. So in this first video, I'm going to do this kind of showing you the stats, some in the garden testing, and then there'll be another follow-up for this where I actually get to use it and sleep out the night in it. The pack size of this is 40 by 16 centimeters, so it's nice and compact. So lightweight, compact pack size. This is all part of the benefit of bivying, but you know, I'm told it's the connection with nature, being outside, looking at the stars, being part of the land, and really importantly, being very discreet and fitting in a small space. So it ticks a lot of boxes. NORTENT say this weighs a kilo or 990 grams on their website, and I make that 1,157 grams, so 157 grams over. Let's have a look what's inside. So there's a nice bag with a pull off at the end. You get a Velcro strap there. There's some pegs and repair material, and there's 2 poles, and I believe they're just under 8 millimeters. Well, they're branded NORTENT. 7.8 millimeters. One is slightly longer than the other because this is a hooped bivvy, so the longer one will be for the head end and that's for the foot end. I'm led to believe that this is a larger model than most, so we can understand if you think it's heavier than a lot of bivvies. So we've got 10 lightweight pegs and some repair material. Now the upper material is 14,000 hydrostatic head, and the footprint is 10,000 millimeters hydrostatic head. Now on the bottom, this is PU coated, but this is what's called ARX N150B material. It's a 15D breathable nylon, and it's supposed to be breathable to 15,000 gram per meter squared. It's got a reasonable tear strength. So how does that compare to the likes of Gore-Tex? Okay, that seems to compare reasonably to Gore-Tex. Gore-Tex pack light is the same at 15,000 grams per meter squared. So that seems to compare typically to Gore-Tex fabrics. Anyway, let's get it pitched. Now the obvious thing is that you would use a tarp over the top of this, but then it wouldn't be a waterproof test, would it? But that would make life a little bit more civilized, but I just want to try this in its kind of purest form, really. There's a simple toughened sleeve there and a grommet system, and I like this type of pole end because with that little catch there, it's less likely to flick out, so that just helps with the retaining.
Now here we can see, start some of the features. There's a large stiffened flap over the zip here. So with 4 pegs we've got something of a loose structure, but we definitely need to get this guide out. So these are black guy lines along with their discreet offering, but these have got reflection in them. Then with the last 4 remaining pegs I'll pitch out at the bottom of the poles. Right, now that's pitched, seems a reasonable sort of shape and kind of bigger than I thought in terms of looks. It's alright. The only ventilation, other than it being a breathable material, is there's a permanent vent here that should stay open by its own accord. Seems to. And there's a mesh up inside there. This flap isn't held in by Velcro, just by its own tension. It's pretty stiff. Oh, I tell a lie. There's Velcro on this end. There's no Velcro on this side, but there's Velcro on that side flap here. Yep, so far so good. And the reason I've decided to pitch this in this kind of like horrible weather is to really try and put myself off bivvying. Right, let's give it a measure in terms of floor space, because the floor space will be pretty much what's the same as inside since it's a single skin. So I'll put the measurements from NORTENT up on the screen now, but doing this quickly. That's 72 centimeters across that one. The length from pole to pole is 183, which is about my height. There to there is another 15, so call that nearly just under 2 meters. So from there to there is 56, so just doing it quickly, 2 meters 56, and this width across here is 90, so that should be enough space to sleep. Now the difficulty with bivvying, I would say, in these kind of conditions is, and this is my learning along with you, is how do you get in without getting everything soaked. Now normally you'd have over trousers and a waterproof jacket. I'm just wearing waterproof kind of clothing, Paramo and some Hare Hill Ridgegate waterproof trousers, because I've just been dog walking, so this is what I've got on. But normally you'd have a shell, so there's got to be a way of getting your kit in there and then yourself off without getting the inside too wet. Now a lot of bivvies have an end entrance, but this one has, and I'm reassured this is a good feature, is a side entrance. So theoretically you can get in here whilst retaining most of this cover over the top, and you can see there's a midgy mesh in there, and that goes all the way down to here, so you can peel all this back, which I'm not going to now. You'll have to wait for the next video for that, and get in without getting everything wet. But what I'm going to do is feed this Thermarest mat just inside, and I've got the nozzle ready at the end, and blow it up inside, and then leave things to cook at gas mark, peeing it down. Got ready there my pump without getting the inside wet. Okay, I managed to get that inside with just a couple of drips on the mat. Looks like the space at the foot end there, the space for a backpack up there. It's just a couple of drips on there that I'm going to wipe off, and then we'll leave it out in the wet and we'll see what happens. Great, that's the mat in there, all cozy. So I'm going to get myself in there with a sleeping bag later and we'll give it a little try. Whether I'm going to stay the night in the back garden remains to be seen. Probably not. Got the rain lashing out. I almost feel sorry for it. Right, the bivvy's been outside cooking in the rain for several hours. Still beading nicely. Let's have a little look if everything's still dry inside. And then what I'm going to try and do is get inside without soaking everything. Just give this a bit of a shake. So I've got over trousers on and muddy boots and a event jacket. So I'll need to kind of carefully get in. Let's have a little look inside. See what the crack is. So, as far as I can tell, all looks nice and dry. Right, now I need to get myself in without soaking everything. Right, so I want everything inside, including my rucksack, and I'll do the process of getting my sleeping bag in there, and then my waterproofs and boots, and lastly myself. This is my sleeping bag. I'm just using a Fellmandave. That's got a repellent outer on. So that's my sleeping bag in there. And this is the German Hunter model. Loosen the boots. Over trousers off. Trousers in there. Waterproof jacket in there. So I've got a bin liner for the backpack. I want that up at the head end here. I want to do this quickly. I'm getting a little bit on the wet side. Okay, one foot in there. Boots down the side there. Shove that up there. And then lastly, you need to come with me. Right. I'm in on this 4-inch pad. I'm touching the roof there, but let's try and get in my bag and get comfortable. The big flap's pretty good, and you can see getting in there I've just got a tiny bit of damp. Pretty happy with that, really. But that's interesting, the kind of retention thing there. I wonder what that's for. Right, let's try and get in this sleeping bag. I'm in. Right, shift you around a bit, mate. Okay, now I'm in. That's good. So I shove those up out the way. That's a 30-litre pack there. So that's in a plastic bag, so I could get to my stuff in that corner there. It's obviously pretty confined, but it seems okay. Just noticed there's a little pocket down there. Probably one on the other side, can't see. Yeah, so obviously pretty damn cramped, but pretty comfy, really. I thought I'd feel claustrophobic, but you know, it's not a lot of space, but I kind of don't. Yeah, I've got room there to look at my phone. All is not lost. Now, obviously, I couldn't cook in here, but I could turn round, and I've got a drink in my pack in here.
could get that out. Have a drink, that's fine. Right, I'm going to chill out a little bit and then come back with my thoughts in a bit. Wow, it's definitely warm in here. I can undo this zip here and get some air through there, and that flap is so big. No water's coming in. That's handy. Bit of ventilation. Well, it's been quite cosy in here, lying listening to the rain. I think if I lie on my side, my shoulder's not touching the bivvy there, but I think a sleeping bag definitely would be. But this material's kind of remaining dry, and there's a little bit of a cool draft coming through the vent here, so that definitely stops it from keeping claustrophobic. So yeah, this is just a quick first look and just a bit of training really to see if I could get in and out of it whilst keeping my equipment and myself dry and not soaking inside the bivvy, and that seemed to have worked okay really. So this is, some would say, not strictly a bivvy, more like a hooped bivvy or mini tent. So I think it's comparable to the likes of the Rab Ridge Raider, which is very popular, but I think this one's quite a lot more spacious. So I'll put links below to where you can get this from, and this is just part of the learning curve for me to persuade myself to enjoy this niche activity. I think it's a bit Marmite, so let me know what you think, if it's something you really enjoy, how you do it. Do you always use a tarp? Do you ever go pure hooped bivvy, or do you think it's just nuts when a lightweight tent wouldn't weigh much more? So thanks for watching.